Thanks for staying tuned to your station, the Africa Independent Television, and welcome to your programs, Security Watch Africa. My name remains Patrick Abambu. It's another Saturday when we bring you your security and safety tonic, where you get the information you need to know concerning security. Life is important, and you must ensure and make every effort to ensure that we are safe and we remain safe. Welcome to the program today. It's a cheering news. I had a sound sleep when I had information last night of the rescue of Major Christopher Dantong that was adopted at the Nigeria Defense Academy when the bandits attacked the school. It's a good cheering news. It's a good news. We must say kudos to all those security personnel that took part in that rescue mission. We must say thank you for doing that, and we want to use this opportunity to call on the total rescue of every Nigerian that is in captivity wherever in the country. I believe that our security forces are ready with the support of the people who will provide information. Then there's cheerful news that will come in, especially with the heat that is being put on these bandits in the northwest, particularly north central and northeast, and in other southern parts of the country. We believe that things will get better as soon as possible. Yes, also during the week, the Surveyors Council of Nigeria, in partnership with Nigeria Surveyors Institution, organized examination for those who want to become surveyors, professional surveyors. You remember on this program, we did talk about the importance of surveying in security. It's very, very important that examination is taking place so that people can take the part of surveying, so that we have a well-demarcated, defined boundaries and properties and the well-defined environment in our society. So that is that. But I want to also remind you that the coronavirus is still here with us. We must make a concerted effort to ensure that we'll make sure that we don't spread it and get vaccinated. Where it's good that there's vaccine now available and people are being asked to get vaccinated. Please go and get vaccinated. It doesn't hurt. I have been vaccinated myself, first and second dose, and so many people I know have also been vaccinated, and there's nothing negative happening to them. So please get vaccinated. And that you can see every Saturday I put on my face mask as a reminder that the COVID-19 is still with us. That will lead us to the reports that we have put together by Elizabeth Tanko, reporting about the vaccination program and the campaign to ensure that religious leaders, particularly the Christian leaders, are involved in the campaign for vaccination. Sit back as we bring you this report.
The Nigerian government has called on religious leaders to aid in reducing the spread of coronavirus disease in the society by assisting the campaign for vaccination. This call was made by the Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, during the sensitization of Christian leaders on Phase 2 COVID-19 vaccination and primary healthcare in Nigeria. Dr. Shuaib, appealing to the religious leaders, cited their importance in the society.
Christian leaders across the country have been formidable pillars of support in all our primary healthcare interventions. I am aware that in the states and local government areas, representatives of the Christian Association of Nigeria are strong and committed members of the state and LGA task forces on immunization. These ambassadors have contributed immensely to confidence building and trust in government-led public health programs, especially in the days of the Nigeria polio eradication program, when we were battling with high rates of refusals to vaccinations due to rumors and misinformation.
While giving his remarks, the Minister of State for Health, Senator Olorunibe Mamora, stated that the Nigerian national response will not be effective if religious leaders are not carried along.
May I humbly remind you, Your Eminence, distinguished Christian leaders, ladies and gentlemen, that you are revered by your communities. and hence have a responsibility as leaders to safeguard the health of your followers. I want to task you to be role models to your followers and encourage them to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
Speaking on behalf of the Christian leaders, the Executive Director, Nigerian Interfaith Action Association, Bishop Sunday Onora, said that the religious leaders are in good position to influence people's decisions and actions.
We are here because we know that faith leaders have the capacity, they have the moral authority. People believe in their pastors. People believe in their preachers. And when the preacher says, everybody rise, everybody stand up without saying point of objection. And so they have moral authority. And with this group of people, we can do so much. The scripture in Jeremiah chapter 8 verse 22 asks the question, is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician there? Why then has the health of my poor people not been restored?
Many stakeholders and leaders of thought lend your voices to the call for the holistic approach in the vaccination against coronavirus. Elizabeth Thanko, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Welcome back. That call can never be enough. We must all make every effort to ensure that we get vaccinated so that we can protect ourselves and our loved ones from being infected by this deadly disease, this deadly virus, coronavirus. Yes, quickly, let's go to the Nigerian Army. During the week, the second and third quarter combined conference of the Chief of Army Staff was held here in Abuja, and during one spectacular thing about that conference was the commissioning of 7 satellite communication vehicles, which will help to monitor what the men are doing in the theaters and to also communicate within themselves. And it's quite cheery because this is the first time it's happening in the sub-Saharan Africa, and we must say kudos to the Nigerian Army for that. Security Watch Africa, Shuli Daniels was there, and she brings this report.
For effective coordination of operations for officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, has procured 7 satellite communication vehicles to help effective coordination of the men. On the sideline of the Chief of Army Staff 2021 Combined Second and Third Quarter Conference held in Abuja, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya commissioned these vehicles. According to the Commander, Nigerian Army Cyber Warfare Command, Brigadier General Abubakar Adamu, while briefing the Chief of Army Staff on the usefulness of the vehicles and equipment, stressed that the vehicles couldn't have come at any time better than now that operations in the Northwest, Northeast and North Central requires alternative means of communication.
It's a multi-band. It can provide broadband internet. Wherever the person is, he can communicate, he can use his mobile phone, and equally there are phones in the vehicles that are available for his usage. It is easy to mount, and also the system has 2 motorized systems that can bring up the satellite and also bring it. The vehicles, particularly for the Coas vehicle, it has a camera mounted on it. Wherever the Coas is, he can see 6.5 kilometers within his vicinity. It has also night capability. The same way you can see in the afternoon is the same way you can see it in the night. And it can go around 60 degrees. Now this vehicle has a ruggedized palm top, which you can send your nasib directly from here. Apart from that, sir, you can download everything here and pictures and everything and send to wherever that is connected.
In his opening address, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya charged officers to sustain the onslaught against all forms of criminality, as he will not accept any excuses for failure.
I want to state that Nigerian Army under my watch will remain resolute and continue to chart progressive path toward tackling the security challenges confronting the country. Hence, I have directed that serious attention be given to sustaining and improving the tempo in all ongoing Nigerian Army operations across the country. I have also directed for the conduct of special operations, especially in North Central and Northwest region, to address deteriorating security infractions in the regions. Commanders must therefore glean from my command philosophy to ensure that operational and administrative proficiencies of Nigerian Army units and formations are sustained and improved upon. Commanders must seize initiative. Commanders must have initiative. Commanders must take initiative. They must take decisive action to defeat the threats in their respective areas of responsibility. I will not take or accept excuses. Gentlemen, we are to note, please, that failure is failure, irrespective of the circumstances. I am aware of logistic constraints affecting operations across the country, and I am glad to inform you that efforts are in progress to provide us with combat enablers that will enhance and boost our operations. Concerted efforts are being made to eliminate the threat of improvised explosive devices, which has been a major impediment to troops and our operations in Operation Haɗin Kai. I want to assure you that I am determined to rebuild the fighting skills, capacity, confidence, and morale of our troops across the various theaters of operation. Training must also be given due attention that it deserves. In order to achieve this, priorities for the first quarter of Nigerian Army will include training and training. I will ensure that through functional training, officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army are equipped with the right attitude, competencies, and skills to effectively undertake daring missions in addition to developing social and special operations forces. This would be closely followed by procurement that ensures appropriate kitting and provision of protective gears, weapons, equipment, and platforms. Let me, however, remind you all that while no effort will be spared in achieving these goals, it is command responsibility to ensure the sustenance and maintenance of all equipment. We must therefore strive to improve our maintenance culture to prolong the lifespan of our platforms and equipment.
He urged the participants to key into his vision in carrying out their responsibilities.
Let me appreciate all officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army for their unrelenting sacrifices and efforts in ensuring that the Nigerian Army fulfills its constitutional responsibilities. I will continue to demand that you redouble your efforts so that we can decisively deal with our adversaries or any group or persons that threaten the peace and stability of our great nation. In so doing, we will achieve our end state of ensuring a peaceful and stable Nigeria. I will also be using this conference to give very clear directives of what I expect from you all. So at this point, it is with higher sense of responsibility and respect that I wish to express the Nigerian Army's gratitude once again to the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari GCFR, for his strategic guidance and unrelenting support to the Nigerian Army.
Shirley Daniels, reporting for Security Watch Africa.
All across the nation, Nigeria, there are so many communal clashes resulting from boundary disputes, and this has claimed so many lives and so many properties destroyed, and development has been stunted. Security Watch Africa, Peggy Agbe, did a report on what is happening with Nigerian boundaries and how can we get it better streamlined. Sit back as we bring you this report.
The word boundary, in a common sense, is the relationship between man and his immediate environment. There have always been land disputes from Africa's colonial and post-colonial history. In Nigeria, there still exist numerous conflicts relating to boundary division with two or more ethnic groups who either share cultural or social values for countless years. These conflicts, which has claimed many lives or destroyed loads of properties, seem unending. There are several communities and states in Nigeria, even to the 21st century, who still kill over land disputes. Security Watch Africa looked into these issues and spoke with Surveyor Mohammed Kabir Monsu and Surveyor Kayode Oluwamotemi about the incessant communal and interstate clashes resulting from land boundaries, and they had these to say.
The issues of boundary clashes are mostly, 90% of them are over-resource per se. It's about controlling a quantum of land that a society or group of communities feel that land is either useful for them, is for farming, for mining, for fishing, etc., etc. So people will always like to extend their territorial boundaries. It's normal, it's natural.
When you talk about disputes, land disputes, you are talking about property disputes. Where property is involved, then the differences are so many that you have to solve it. There are some that will be solved by traditional rulers, some by state governments, some by local governments, some by elders of the community. So it depends on what is causing this dispute.
They also spoke about land disputes not being resolved despite panels and committees set by government to resolve clashes.
There are so many committees at state and federal government levels. But issues of boundaries are issues of federal government. And there are hierarchies. There is the National Boundary Commission, there is the state boundary committees, and also local boundaries committees, and there's some local governments. So, by and large, any state that will set up a boundary committee, it has to be in line with the provision of the National Boundary Commission Act.
So many interests. The committee that has been set up, this one set up, this one, everybody has interest, but the major one is funding. Is the funding. When you set up these communities, are they well funded? Are they well funded? Then the constitution of the committee, are they well constituted? These are the issues. These are the issues that government needs to look into. You set up a committee, within 3 months they are rounded up.
On what role professional bodies like the Surveyors Council play to help resolve the numerous boundary disputes, they had this to say.
If we have the schedule, the maps, the area as the Constitution said should have, Section 3.2 says it should have, then all these issues of boundary problems will be reduced to the minimal. And then for the justice system, that gives it a sort of ability to quickly resolve boundary issues.
There must be a proper description of the boundaries involved. Proper description. That is when a surveyor will now go to. You can sit down for 1 year and the boundaries have not been described on paper. If it is not well described on paper, the surveyor cannot go to the land. Okay. So when it is described, then you now call the surveyor, who will now demarcate. What we mean by demarcation is principally putting the pillars. If you don't put the pillars, nobody will know this is my, but that's why they call it boundary, that this is my limit, this is my limit, this is my limit. But when the pillars are there, the coordinates, the spatial information, the spatial data are collected, then everybody would, except somebody who's looking for trouble.
We are on the streets to hear from Nigerians how they feel about this recurring decimal in Nigeria.
Governments has a lot of job to do. They are supposed to, call like a kind of conference between the two communities that, are having this clash, and call them together. Ask the A, what is the problem? The B, what is the problem? And now come out with a, substantial solution to resolve this problem. If not so, it will continue.
For me, I believe it's far beyond the federal government or the state government. It should be streamlined down toward the local government, because these are the people that knows the boundaries, that are very close to the boundaries. I think the local government chairman, so to say, have a lot to do, because he is the rightful person to know and to talk to his people.
People are the government, people are also the government, and each community or a state have a rulers controlling them. So they should involve the government or engage the government by helping them. We have surveyors that can help us draw the land map, where the limit and the distance. So by so doing, government will also help them to know that, okay, this land issue clashes ought not to be happening, and they should help them enforce it if need be.
The parties involved should be brought together, and there should be a dialogue on solving such issues.
We should have to trace back to the colonial era, whereby all this boundary adjustments and all this combination of tribes and settlements came together. It was a colonial arrangement, and sadly we have not been able to arrange them ever since we got our independence. That's one of the major problems we are having.
On the role of National Boundary Commission, Nigerians were in agreement that the government agency has failed in its mandate.
They are not functioning well. If they are functioning well, we won't have problem like this. The government have to, step up their game.
The commission is not doing the right thing, so to say. And because from the north to the south, east, west, and center, everybody seems to be fighting over land disputes. I think the government, so to say, they are not really doing what they ought to do.
They are not functioning well. They are lazy. From the management down to the grassroots. They are not working. They are not doing any work. And we are not happy about it. They are only there, emasculating wealth, stealing people's money, and causing more dispute. So Nigerians are not happy. And very soon, Stay Alive Human Rights will take off a campaign against national boundary, so that public will know what they are doing. They are not working in Nigeria. So if they don't want to work, let it be scrapped off from the system. So we should not be spending public money on them, paying the staff, and they are not doing anything.
They are functioning within their specified aims and objectives of specified constitutional provision. But I think they really need to do more. They really need to rise up to the occasion in addressing challenges between communities, and so that we can bring an end to this crisis that we have been having as a result of, because sometimes they have gone fatal. People have even attacked themselves in order to settle community differences.
One would think that these issues cannot be resolved, whereas peace and war lies in our hands. We can choose either of them. Land disputes can be resolved if government do their part and agencies in charge do more. Peggy Agbe, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Welcome back. We must do more to ensure that we all live in peace. Peace is the basis for development. Without peace, there can't be any development. So those who are fighting over land, we must know that without peace, we cannot develop. And the National Boundary Commission, like Nigerians are saying, needs to do up their game and keep Nigerians informed on what they are doing. Yes, let's quickly go to Kogi State. Kogi State is in the north central of Nigeria. Just some few days ago, there was a report of the jailbreak in Kaba, and a lot of questions were being asked what is happening to Kogi, a state that was once known as peaceful, but there seems to be some trouble there. The Commissioner for Information, Kingsley Fawo, actually spoke with some media personalities about what is happening. Kogi, sit back as we bring you this report again from Peggy Agbe.
Arising from the recent happenings that threatened the peace and security of Kogi State and the need to put the record straight, the State Commissioner for Information and Communication, Kingsley Fawo, had an interactive session with media personalities. Top on the agenda for discussion was the recent Kaba jailbreak and Fulani headsman. In response to question labeling a particular ethnic group as criminals, he advised Nigerians against stigmatization.
In our villages, are there criminals there? They are. So it means that in every society, you have criminals. There are others that are not criminals, but there are also others that are criminals. So we should not make it look like it is an ethnic group that is criminal. As a nation, we need to come together to find a solution to this. And the earlier we believe and bring ourselves to the reality of the fact that criminality is not a tribal thing, then the earlier we would get out of the imbroglio that we have found ourselves at the moment.
On the issue of jailbreak, he had this to say.
People are still working very hard to ensure that all of them are brought back. We are working with the Nigerian Correctional Service to ensure that we bring all of them back. It is dangerous to have criminals out there on the streets. It is very dangerous. We know that could undermine our security architecture. So we are not joking with that. We ensure that all of them are brought back. That's the marching order given by the governor to security agents. They even have fingerprints. They have fingerprints. They have all the details that will be used to declare them wanted. I think they are still working on getting them, getting them back. If that is not done in the next few days, definitely they will have to declare them wanted by publishing their pictures in the national dailies.
The commissioner also spoke on the issue of insecurity in Kogi State.
You could see that everyone in this country knows that Kogi is one of the safest states in Nigeria. It is not that you don't still have flashes of, crime here and there, but we have a system that can deal with that promptly and adequately. We know that there are certain people, certain politicians who are desperately mobilizing criminals to foment trouble in Kogi State, so that they will say, oh, is it not the man that they said is the best in security? Is it the state is now being disturbed by criminals? So what is he going to flaunt again? We are not crying here. We are solidly on top of our security game. So we are expecting them. We will deal with the situation appropriately.
Nigerians are enjoined to take responsibility by aiding security agencies to fight crime and criminality anywhere in the country. If you see something, say something, because security is everybody's business. Peggy Agbe, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Well, welcome back. We can't get tired of saying it. If you see something, you say something, because security is everybody's business. It's very, very important. Permit me to wish one of us, in fact, our coordinator here in the studio, for every time Security Watch Africa comes on air, he's the one who makes sure that everything is in order here in the studio, talking about Mr. Gowon Elams. Happy birthday to you. You deserve all the celebration you can get. All of us here want to wish you happy birthday once again. Thank you. Unfortunately, we must leave for other programs to continue, because time is of essence when you are on television. Until you come your way again next week, I say thanks for staying tuned, and bye for now.